Shall we crack one?
I think we should.
Oh, we are live. Welcome back.
Been up since 4.
Yeah. Here's the sound.
Oh, cheers to a
Mike.
prosperous week.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mikey.
Mike. Cheers.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
Talk about the absolute heater that you guys are on here in a minute.
We are on a run, buddy. The bush apple, we're still in the bapple stage right now.
Tasty.
It's a good stage to be in, I'm not going to lie.
It is a delicious stage.
Boy, it sells out fast, though, doesn't it?
You can't find it.
No.
Can't find it.
Got to get on it quick.
Need to save some for the fall because this kind of has that cider apple
Yeah.
taste, like when the leaves are turning.
Yeah.
Got the
Sip on
colors,
one
too.
of these.
Yeah. I got a 30-pack stacked that I'm just hoping. And I think the born on date, as they say, is all going to match up. You got to get some in June.
I
So-
actually,
fine.
I planted some bapple trees at my house, and so I'll have a good bapple harvest.
You grow actual bushlight apples?
I do. I grow
Hey, your
apple
30-pack's
trees.
gone.
Oh,
It
never
crawled
mind.
into my bag. It's going home with me.
I don't.
Yeah.
You had a
It's
dirty
good stuff.
30?
For those of you that are wondering who that fourth voice is, that's Uncle Mike, Mike Passaglia, the man, the myth, the legend. He's here from California, right? I don't know what I could say. I could go on for hours. Big brother.
Let's just let him go
Please.
on. Who are you,
Yeah.
Mike?
No, it's much better
That's
when
what he
you
does
guys.
best.
Yeah.
I gave you more lines. Keep going. Come on.
I forgot what you
Back
wrote
the
down for
prompter
me.
up.
What did you write down for me? There was a couple other things.
You were
wrote
on a roll.
down.
Love fast.
Great husband.
Mentor. Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh, we're
husband.
going to talk
Yeah.
about the husband part.
Yeah.
I had to go to a side convo with Ange before we got started here.
True leader, mountain
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
icon.
Icon.
Icon
It
I'm
is.
60 now. Icon.
Yep. You are.
60?
He's 60.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you really?
That's what I said.
I mean, you look like shit, but
I know.
I figured 60
I may have
was-
let myself go. a little bit, right?
60 was.
Yeah, no, and it's weird. 59, I never felt like you don't get up and go, man, I feel great today and I love life, but I'm 60. Like that. Yesterday I didn't say that.
Yep.
There's no difference, but it's interesting.
Yeah. It's messing with you a
Unreal.
little bit. Well, Mike has hunted all over the world, so we're going to get into some stories with that, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike and I have had this tradition of hunting together turkeys for a while now, and we have just put a smackdown on some birds the last couple of days. So it's been fun. So it's great having him in camp, and he offers a lot. So it's going to be a good voice today on the podcast.
Yeah.
The fact you came in hot this go around though. I mean, there's times where it's taken a lot longer.
Last year.
Yeah, no. You came in like, let's go. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And you laid him down.
Closing the deal last year was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you were roadside watching.
Yeah.
It was not a gimme.
That
And,
was a 28 gauge.
That was the
stretch.
first Winchester TSS 28 gauge bird shot.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any
the
other
world.
ammo.
Yeah.
In the world.
In the world.
That was it.
Yeah.
You had the only single shot 28 gauge that was existed at that point. So we and that was 65 yards.
It was, and I think you actually also we did that because you had no shells left, and there was one shell you found in the floor bed of your truck,
Yes, yeah.
and it was a 28 gauge.
Yep.
And,
And I felt comfortable.
Well,
with
here you
that.
go, Mike.
Yeah, here.
Single
Here, just
bead.
wipe it off.
Single bead over and under Satori
Yeah.
with a Indian Creek.
Yep.
And that was the key right there. That choke tube was deadly.
That I remember. So I went around and watched from a distance, and I could see the bird. I could see you guys. I could see where you were set up, and then I saw the bird like kind of turn and maybe not and start to go the other way. And I saw Mike. I think you actually stood up and just I mean, I saw the bird go, and then I heard. And I was like, "Oh damn!" He rolled.
He
that
actually
thing.
rolled him.
Yeah,
that was
it was. I mean, for you to pull him away from that group and get him to come that far back, and us belly crawling through that field, and then you can just tell with turkeys. You guys know them like better than anybody, and they just once they do that, they're coming, and then they do that back and forth, and they pace right, and it's over, and then the next move is bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we've been together so long, it's like we're laying there and you go, he's not coming any closer. I'm like, no, he's not. You go, what do you think? I said, what better time to try this load than right here, right now? Why not?
That's what it's built
and,
for.
And I put the bead right on the head, and that was such a sweet gun. And just, shooting a 28 gauge is so nice as well.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. It's like it
Nothing.
reminds me of a BB gun as a kid.
Yeah.
There's no kick, and it's not loud, and that thing just, it was fun. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
I think some of these, the drill. Some of this stuff is just meant to be, and then sometimes when it goes bad, it was meant to be,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It wasn't that bird's day or ours. So
It'll
it was fun.
humble the hell out of you. That's what happened to me this morning.
Yeah.
I didn't get humbled by a bird. I got humbled by the neighbor.
Yeah.
Were
To
you
the
just
south.
hunting?
Yeah, like
Really?
literally. And can you tell?
Well,
I
unless
could.
he-
I was
no.
just no. I
That's
didn't
how he
think
comes
that
into
had
work.
you
This is
roll.
how I just left Costco, actually. Perfect.
Tomorrow's tomorrow's whitetail day. It was Turkey Day today.
Yeah, today's Turkey Day.
Excellent.
I had a neighbor just blow it up. Like we had a bird out there strutting, doing his thing. We're like, oh, it's gonna be perfect. Then came old Crash Bandicoot there coming through the field, and off he went.
Off he went.
So,
Well, we had quite the morning, fellas. We had quite the 3 days. We got 3 birds down in 3 days, and this is what is really, really cool. Is this since Winchester came in last week, and we did that podcast. I shot a bird with Katie, her first bird. Then shot a bird with Matt, came in with Mike, his first bird, and then Steven, his first bird. So this is 3 plus Becky Yackley. This is 4 first turkeys ever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
aren't they all same?
yeah, like in the same vicinity.
I think it's AI. Every time you send me a video, I'm like, it's AI. It's the
Same field.
Same field.
Same background.
Yeah, same field, same background.
Well, what I've been
different
doing
bird.
is just having them pose with Petey, and then I just just take the copy and paste.
Cut it out.
As a matter of fact, have you seen the birds? Because I haven't really showed you guys the
I
live birds
physically
yet.
hasn't seen
so
them.
it could
Yeah.
be AI.
No,
it
I
could
have
be
not.
AI.
I did see the video of one getting his head
This
removed
morning.
This morning, though.
Yeah,
Dear
That
Lord.
was-
Steven had something to say about that.
That's what
Yeah.
you're looking for.
Man, oh man, it was. So it's one of those days. It's raining. I had a blind set, and I was like, they're in the field. Are they going to do what they're going to do? Just let it happen. It's raining. It stopped raining. It's like just let it happen. And I was so shocked at like 5:50 off the, and I'm like, oh, he gobbled, and I'm like, that's awesome. So now I know exactly where he's at.
Yeah.
And then he gobbled again. I just hit the call for maybe 10 seconds and then stopped. And then he gobbled at it and was like, okay, we're good to go. And we just sat there, and we're sitting in one of those blinds where you can see through it. And so I just kept staring at like they were going to come in this lane. And I figured, like, if they're coming, they're going to step out, like right here. And I was just staring, and all of a sudden I go, there they are. And they were at 8 feet when they first stepped out, and they kind of went around, and the hens came, and then the tom came. And the way that I had Petey set up, the tom had to come into the field. Then he saw Petey, and so he was already in like the death range.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when he came around there and saw Petey, he let out, like, you could tell that he saw him, and then he gobbled again, and they had to go behind this little island, and it was perfect. I mean, a little island as big as that table with some trees. And when they went behind the island, Steven came up on the, and I was like, first bird. And Louis was in the blind with me filming, and oh my God, it was 12 yards.
You sent the video, and it looked like someone hooked a jerk strap around that turkey's head and took off, put it in fifth gear, whoom, the other way.
It was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah. No, it
the
was
spin.
gone.
The spin I thought was
Yeah.
something's wrong.
If you didn't think a turkey has shoulders, you watch that video. His shoulders, I never knew they had them. And his head's gone, and they're just shoulders, and they roll, and it's just that spin, like you said, and then he just collapses, and then his feet are just driving him.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, it was all reaction
Awesome.
because
Yeah.
he wasn't feeling the thing. I can
No.
tell that.
That-
oh gosh, no.
So close shot, we always try to tuck them up tight and get them as tight as we can. But I'll be honest, close shots, especially with that TSS, and if you're Indian Creek, like
Yeah.
it's like shooting a 22. You know what I mean? Like, you
What's
don't
the
have a
size
lot-
of this beer can?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of margin for error. People
Yeah.
are like, it's a shotgun. I'm like, yeah, not at like at 6 feet. You're still here with it.
That's
you know?
why you shoot base of the neck.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So it's his first bird, and he'd hunted
Yep.
before, so this is his first bird. So we were talking through stuff this morning, and that field you can reach out and touch them. So I brought the 12 gauge longbeard and with the handle, the good
Yep.
the one I've had
The
that's
one.
killed 100 birds before. So I brought him, and I wasn't expecting 12 yards, but. We talked about it was like where the jelly head meets the feathers, and by God, he put it right there because I mean there was no feathers left right there; it was just gone. So it was a perfect shot.
Smart.
Yeah,
It's the
it was
spot.
good.
That's where you got to put
Yeah,
him.
It was good. So yeah, man, we're on a tear.
Coachable.
Yeah,
He's coachable.
Coachable.
he's coachable.
That's a
no,
good.
no question.
That's a good.
Tell
thing.
me right there where the jelly meets it'd be an ass shot.
You're not coachable.
No.
You know it already. You
I'm
don't
all
need
right
to.
with it.
Yeah,
You
we,
don't need
we had this morning, again, it was raining. Deacon roosted these birds last night. And it's a property it's had our number over the years. Yeah. And he's calling me, he's like, oh, they're flying up. I see the tree they're flying up in. They're dead. I'm like, okay, perfect.
That is not.
He's like,
they're not dead.
He's like,
Not there.
well, you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And they're 100 yards down this trail. I mean, it's such an easy, you walk in. So we got in there at blackness.
Yeah.
We got in at like 5 to 5. We were walking up the road, set the deeks. We walked on the side of the gravel, made no noise. We knew we were going to be within 20 yards of the tree. Yeah. But we didn't know what side of the trail they were going to pitch down. If they're going to pitch away from us, if they're going to pitch back behind us. We didn't have that intel. So we set a Jake, 2 hens, and waited. And it was raining pretty good all morning. It let up just a little bit, not a whisper, not a tree yelp.
That's what I was shocked at.
Not a gobble.
Yeah.
Nothing. And we got in undetected. There's no question that they did not see us. Yeah. We were completely silent. And one bird flew down early at like 20 to 5 or 20 to 6. And then we never heard him again. Then the next bird flew down at like 6. We saw that one. And then all of a sudden they appeared. It was 2 gobblers. They're in the thick and silent, completely silent. They saw the Jake decoy. They didn't like it. They were starting to skirt and go down to the end of the trail. And I told Deacon, I said, they're going to go to the trail. Just be ready. Yeah. And I said, you shoot the one on the left, I'll shoot the one on the right. And Rich is filming. Rich did not have him on camera. I 100% know he didn't. Because I looked over right before I shot, and he's still spinning it. There is no stopping the Deacon. No. Once he had that in his mind.
Yeah. And speaking of not coachable.
Yes, right. The coach is not coachable.
Yeah, probably the least coachable human on
So he says, the right. And I said, yep. And right when he was about ready to shoot, my bird went behind about 15 birch trees. And I literally, he shot and I shot. I'm like, right on him.
Yeah.
He dumped his bird. Yeah. 70 yards, 69 and a half yards, and stoned him.
12? Was he using 12?
12 gauge, yep, long beard TSS, and it never flopped. It never moved. Yeah. And I thought it was 55 or 60 yards. It was a ways. So mine flew off. I didn't touch it. And so we get out and we walk up, and I'm like, that's over 50 yards. It's got to be. So we went back and paced it off, 69 and a half yards. Great hooks, inch and a quarter hooks, old bird. So, yeah, he was happy. He did the scouting. He deserved it.
Well, I knew it was really funny as we got in the blind, and, it's like that calm, everything's good. Yeah. So I got in the blind, and I'm like, we're good. Louis got the camera running. We're dialed in, and so I get my phone out, and I swipe on Instagram, and there's a picture of a bird with hooks, and I'm like, I'm looking out like, it's so dark, like still. And I was like, and there he was. He got it. So, and I was like, I haven't even, like, we just set up, and there was already he's like, I got it. I'm like, wow.
It was like, I don't know what time. It was so dark because of the cloud cover.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, it was light enough to shoot. It was shooting light, but it was still like the cloud cover had it.
I mean,
dark.
Rich was still on like 1,000 ISO or more. Yeah. And so... I don't think he got. We got some great pictures. We got some great photos.
Yeah. So everybody, we always talk about we love to have as many humans as possible in the field. That's the one place that nipped us in the ass.
Yeah,
remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We had. I don't remember how many we had. It was a lot, though.
We had enough, and they putted at us, and they saw.
Yeah.
Oh, we messed up.
Well, you've hunted turkeys. Mike went with us to South Dakota, and that's when we shot 16 birds in 4 days.
Yeah,
in South
that
Dakota.
was legally
in the process.
Yeah, different.
Yeah, we had a lot of tags, and we filled.
Mike bought a dog.
Yeah, they did.
Yeti.
That's
Yeti
right.
girl came from there. Yeah.
He's literally like,
eight now.
I'm gonna go buy a dog.
Yeah,
bought a dog.
She turned 8.
What a cool dog too.
Yeah,
she's cool.
Yeah, so that was 8 years ago. So we've hunted there together. We've hunted in California together. I've yet to shoot a walnut walker.
Oh,
so that's a whole other story.
I don't think it's real.
I don't think it's real either. But
I have
he just sends me pictures of
Rio. Called in the day he left. He came out and it was all rain and nasty weather, and they just shut down out there when that happens. Yeah. And I took him where I knew there were 2 good birds, and they come across this slough. And we went, and I knew it wasn't going to happen. So we gave it our best. Didn't happen, nothing. And then he had to leave, and it stayed nasty out there in the Pacific. You get the weather system for
So
3
set
days.
it up. The walnut walker.
Yeah.
What's the walnut walker?
the walnut
For the people who
orchard.
don't know.
Good question. So out there in Northern California, I mean, there's a lot of different areas for birds, but the walnut orchards, so they love walking through the orchards, right? But it's wide open. And so they roost. There's a lot of sloughs and rivers and creeks and a lot of trees that they'll roost in over that. Then they pitch down either onto the levee or onto a little grazing piece, and then they walk right into the orchard, and they walk through the orchard, they eat the bugs, they have a great time. So Chris nicknamed them the walnut walkers because he didn't get one. And so he thinks that, they're just impossible.
They're like the
They
White
don't, they
Walkers.
don't exist.
They don't
Did
exist.
you buy them from the farmer before he got there? You're
The
like,
walnuts or the walkers?
You're like, hey, when I give you the old
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let-
should
snip
have.
this rope and
Exactly.
Let 'em go. There you
When
go.
we first put Petey out there years ago, these things, like anytime they see him for the first time, they're like, hey, and they come clear. I mean, they come 200 yards across that orchard like they do in the fields here when you pop them up.
are they Rios out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's
they're
that?
all Rios. Over the
We'll
years,
find out next year.
Yeah, you got one.
We'll find out.
Over the years, they've just, like any bird, I think, because they tend to be henned up that time of year too, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of activity. There might be 40 or 50 birds in a group walking through. So the good news is there's 6 or 8 toms. Bad news is they're following the hens. I think some of those hens, honestly, by now are somewhere between 37 and 47 years old. And they've literally seen every of their potential mates die, and they come through and they're like, just like that.
Sound like a mallard. Just,
Right? And I mean, so the only way you can get them to come is to pick a fight with them, right? And call over them. They call over you. You call over them. If you piss one off, they'll come.
Yeah.
And then the toms just, they happy dance right in, and it's over. But, if the weather's not good, if it's not sunny out there, it's tough. And so he left, and he was cursing them, and the weather left with him. So I think he brought it.
Yeah, I
So
did.
that Monday morning, I'm like, you can't stay till tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny. He's like, I got to go. I said, all right, man. So he leaves. So I went right back to where I took him the first day, and I sat there. And then usually about 9 o'clock, 8:30, you can walk over closer to the slough, and if they're on the other side, you can throw out a call. I threw out a call, and it was just, and there were 2 toms. And I'm like, oh, man. So about 5 seconds later, I call again. They both hammer. Half again is close. I'm like, shit, they're coming.
Yeah.
So I run back to the first walnut tree, lean against it. I don't even have time to pop up the decoy.
Which is this big, by the way.
I'm against it, and I know as soon as I see them, or I got to see them before they're going to come in, and they're looking, and they're going to spot this lump of human.
you were 59 then.
Sift.
Oh yeah,
So
Young-
you were,
young lump.
Yeah, I
You were
was
looking
looking
a
little-
59
young
back then. 57. So I mean,
57 actually, yeah.
I jumped
You
to
were-
the back of the walnut tree. I jumped one and back landed.
you were peak.
Perfect. So
Icon.
I was tight, and my eyes worked. It was great. So I'm
could see.
scanning.
You didn't call
so
it every
all of a
mailbox.
sudden, and you know how exciting it is. Boom, they pop up.
Yeah.
And they're both right there, and they're looking for the hen, right? So I'm acting like a tree, and I'm watching out of the corner of my eye. And so they step in, and one of them immediately does the head turn go, and the other one looks at him, and so I was just like, boom. So I shot him. Gorgeous bird.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
So I
saw
did
the
a
picture.
I sent him a picture. It was 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
I sent him a picture. I sent him a video. I apologized, and then I laughed.
Yeah.
And then,
But they can be tough birds. And I will tell you, they can be easy if you're in an orchard that hasn't been hunted. I have another friend that was like, oh, you got to come hunt my place. They're all over the place. They're a nuisance. I'm like, I'm your guy. So I go there with Petey. They're 400 yards out in the orchards, and there's this middle road, and there's a little drop off about the length of this table. So I'm knee crawling for 400 yards with Petey up, and I'm crawling along, and there's 3 strutters with groups of hens about 100 yards apart from each other. And then there's all these redheads, and I figure they're jakes. Well, it was probably a dozen total, all toms.
Oh.
And I didn't know till I got there. So I'm trying to get to the strutter, the closest one, and I range this container. And it's like, if I can get to they're 100 yards from there, and I can close out, I can pull them, I'll break the seal, one of them will charge. So I'm crawling along, and I do 50 knees at a time, and I'm like, still there, 50 more knees. Knee.
I got a soundtrack to this in my head.
Right.
You know it.
So I'm going, yeah. And if you look at the trail from the knees, there was more wavering than I thought I was string tight. And so I'm going along and making sure I don't do the old mud barrel.
Oh yeah, the mud barrel. We've had that.
So
You lose your choke
ultimately, we're good. So I see some over here, and these, and all of a sudden I thought, okay, I got to set PD down. Like I'm 100 yards from the container, 100 yards from those birds, and then there's birds on both sides, a couple hundred yards away. And I set him down, and I look to my right. It happened this fast, from that far. I set him down, lean against the side of the road, dirt, and I look at these ones here. I want to glass them to see what they are. And as I'm glassing them, they're all running at me, like 5 of them. And I'm like, they're all longbeards. And in the time it took to do that, I hear, brr, 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 brr. I'm like, so I look right here, and I'm not kidding you, 10 feet, there's 4 toms just fighting mode. It's like they just went, they didn't even walk, they just went zoop. It's like Gumby. They just went shoot right
So
there.
you got the sharks and the jets, and
I'm
you're in the
telling you.
middle.
And it's like, and I'm
come.
thinking, well, this is going to end bad for me. Like, there's Petey, me, and them, and they're on him. Like, they're the first one that blinks is like Tombstone.
Yeah.
If one winks, it's
wham.
on.
It's
So
Say
I'm like,
wham.
shoot one. So I come up with the gun, and I'd have shot 4. So I had to wait, and then they all kind of separated, and I shot. But I mean, my gosh, it was so it can be that way in the orchard,
Yeah.
and it can be that way.
Yeah.
What's the history of turkey hunting where you are in California? Like, how long have people been
How
turkey
long
hunting?
has there been man, a gun, and desire?
Is it something that
Can you rephrase the question, counselor?
Desire is the good part.
Desire is
I
key.
want to touch on. You said you were acting like a tree. What? Do you go branches? Do you go
No,
no
because
branches?
it's
You're
good.
just-
It's easy to act like a walnut. It's
You just
easy
stand
to
and
act
don't
like a
move?
tree in a walnut orchard because the branches don't start till about 6 feet up.
Yeah.
So you just go trunk.
You just
Oh,
go
so
trunk.
you're all trunk
You're
from
just a
branch.
trunk, right?
See,
The problem
that's-
is my trunk is now twice as wide as the walnut trunk
Yeah.
on the younger trees. So you got to watch
Well,
it.
57 though, you look like a tree.
Yeah, so well, yeah.
I was just wondering if you got full branch with it, or if you were
So
just.
speaking of that, so he
trunk.
was talking about his eyes earlier. So I've hunted with Mike long enough now. We're driving, and do you know how many black mailboxes with red handles and white flags there are? A lot, right? And I've gotten to the point now where we're driving down the road, and he won't even say anything. I'll go, "It's a mailbox," and he'll go, "Okay, I'm just making sure." Like he doesn't even say it, but I know he's thinking it. He's going, "That's Tom right there. That's Tom right there," and I'm like, "It's a mailbox."
Listen, I'm not going to deny it. I've been fortunate through life and God's good graces to hunt all over the world and hunt a lot of things and amazing experiences, culture-wise, animal-wise, experience-wise, right, challenge-wise. But something about turkeys in the spring, man, it just, I'm useless. In fact, I made turkey season Mike for Ange, where I created a long pillow, put it in the bed where I would sleep, put a little head thing on and, T-shirt and sleeping shorts. And I did a video for her, and I talked about how great it is to have turkey season Mike instead of real Mike, because turkey season Mike doesn't roll around.
Yep.
Turkey season Mike doesn't snore.
Yeah.
Turkey season Mike is an excellent listener. And
can hear.
A woman loves a great listener.
Yeah.
not a good communicator, but a good listener?
No, yes,
Doesn't
no,
say
terrible
much.
communicator.
Doesn't say
Doesn't
much.
really have a lot to say
A
in
lot of
return.
one-way conversation.
Hell of a listener. So anyway, but
fine.
it's just the fever, and I think I know I'm not alone in this sickness.
Yeah.
And that is, by the end of turkey season, everything's a roost tree.
Mm-hmm.
Every half tire out in the field randomly is a strutter.
Yeah. Yep.
And everything is a tom. Every mailbox with a red flag thing.
All of it.
Every black mailbox, I'm telling you. And I don't think I'm alone in that. Like, you're driving along and it's like, oh, roost tree. Or you're driving
Yeah,
along,
there's
it's
a
like, oh,
tile
bird.
that's blown up from the field. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
but it's funny. The day after the last day of turkey season, I'm almost relieved.
Yeah.
Because there's a pressure that I'm not utilizing my time. I'm not out there enough. Even though we're out there a lot. It's like, God dang, it's a beautiful morning. I should have went. So it's like I can finally relax on June 1st a little bit.
Yeah.
But
That's coming for me right now. I feel like We got a lot of birds down. I need to pause in the action for a second. I need to sleep. I need to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been a good run, and so I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're traveling. Yeah. We're headed down to Memphis for some work, so I'll have a couple of days to regroup. But I know Monday come back again.
I'm the opposite. I got to get going.
Yeah.
I got 2 boys that still need to kill. I need to kill. My wife wants to kill. It's like I got a lot of work to do. Not a lot of time to do it right now.
You'll get it done
because we're traveling. We got grand openings coming up with Cabela's and Bass Pro. We got to go to. And,
yeah.
So but you're right, Jason. Just to kind of dovetail off of that, there is honestly a sense of like you release the pressure valve at the end of the season because every day you feel like you need to go.
Yeah.
And you don't. And when you press pause for a couple of days, 3 days, and you go again, if the season's still on, it's so refreshing. I just can't. I don't know how to press pause, man.
Yeah.
So the relief is so true.
Well, and you get in that mode too where you get up in the morning, you open your eyes at 4:30 anyway.
Yeah.
And your shit is in the garage from the day you just put it on.
Yeah.
All the stuff's in the truck.
Yeah.
It's easy. Cup of coffee, put the gear on, and go for a ride.
Well, we were laughing because I opened the back of the truck and it's like a tactical go bag.
Yeah, it's all ready.
Everything is exactly where it needs to be, and it's like every time I open the thing, it's the gun, the ammo, the stakes, everything is exactly where it needs to go. And like, once you get in that groove, then it's really on. That's how you know you're turkey hunting a lot when it's
you start
all right
killing.
there. Yeah. So.
Going back to seeing shit, we call them Northern Michigan field muppets.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we see them everywhere. And
Yeah.
Same thing. I'll be driving with somebody who doesn't drive around and hunt a lot around here, and you can tell they're like, "Is your driving?" You're like, "It's a field muppet." I've looked at that bush 6,000 times in the last couple of days. It's almost like you guys have all been in a whitetail stand. The darker it gets, the more you're like, "There's a deer."
Yeah.
That stump's been there the whole damn time you've been
Just some
sitting in that
shadow.
tree stand.
Yeah,
But now
shadows.
it's a little darker. You're like, "Oh, here he comes. There he is. He's right there." You know,
it's
start fooling yourself.
How many times have you said, and especially deer hunting, right? You're like, if you're hunting the same lease or the same piece of land, right, or same area, and you're like, I glass that thing every time, and you know it's not a deer every time, and yet you still glass it every time.
Oh yeah, every time.
Catches your eye, and your instinct is
I do it here every time I pull up to the death hole. I know there's 3 of them, and I know none of them are birds.
Right.
But I look at them every single time just to make sure.
Just
Because one of those times it's going to be a bird, and if it is there, it's over.
It was like a black 1968 Arctic cat at the back. At the back, it got me today, and I forgot we hadn't taken that road yet. And I looked back at Fillmore. I said, "Oh, there's a giant." He's like, "It's the snowmobile." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right." It sits right back on a food plot, so it looks like a full, a parachute. Boom.
Yeah.
Unreal.
No.
Well, we've had some fun, and over the years, Mike comes in. We make a run. Last year, we made a run, did the same thing. You were there for that one, and then this year we got him, pulled him in 400 yards. We've just been hammering, so it's a lot of fun. It's been kind of a tradition, I guess, now since.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, 2016 or something. I was looking back. I was like, we were trying to figure out that field that we hunt over on the old river. I think he's shot 5 out of 7 years on that same setup.
That's wild.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
Have you gone back to South Dakota where we went? Have you been back there?
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
were you
Before we
really?
went to
With Petey?
we went to South Dakota. I had a 4 days at home, and then we were leaving for Spain. And so I was like, my buddy's like, "Hey, we're going, right?" I'm like, "Can't do it this year." He goes, "Come on." I said, "Okay, if I fly in Monday afternoon, I got to fly out Thursday morning. We can hunt Tuesday, Wednesday, and Monday evening because they do it till dark too." And he goes, "I'll drive. I'll take all the stuff. Do it." So we went, and in 2.5 days, I got 4 toms. So two on the ranch where we go in and go over the top and kind of drop in the back where you guys got the ones in the snow. I got 2 there. There were 3 toms fighting, which I've never seen 3 fighting at once. So that was pretty cool. And then 2 of them totally lost the fight because I made a double because that's that 2-bird tag. And I thought, why not make a double? Like how often do you make a double on big Miriams or any big toms, right? And so you can do that there. So I did that, and then we went to another ranch that's got a lot of them, and Petey performed like magic, just pulled them right in, shot them at 10 steps, and went to the one in eastern Wyoming there right on the border, and same thing. Same thing. So
Unreal.
You're due to come back.
Oh, that place is so fun. Those birds are so vocal, and it's different, right? They're not an Eastern. They're just way more social, way more like, oh, what's that bird? Here we come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, I was talking to Foster Bartholow today, and he's out there, and they have birds everywhere. Same thing, they have tags all over the place.
Right.
And he was talking about his Petey
Yeah.
is named Tom Jeremy.
Tom Jeremy.
Tom Jeremy.
Oh,
Jeremy.
no.
I like that.
And they've got
His cousin.
Yeah,
That's good.
Tom Jeremy.
Yeah.
And it's a full legitimate stuffed like full mount.
Like a real, like
Yeah.
the one that I have at, yeah.
Yeah,
at the ranch.
it's a legitimate gobbler.
Yeah.
And they take him and they say, we even, in the tough spots, we even bring Tom Jeremy. I'm like, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good name for your
There's-
decoy.
I don't know how many Petey's are out there at this point, but there is a number of
There's a
them.
lot of them.
There's
You
a number.
know he travels.
Yeah.
I've heard.
So I've heard.
Yes.
Petey life.
I've heard he has his own Instagram.
I heard that too.
Yeah, he
Petey
does it
life.
for the gram, huh?
Petey
He does it for
life.
the
He's shown up at Stonehenge. He's been at the Colosseum in Rome.
Yeah.
He's been. He was just recently at the bullfights.
Well,
in
he was
Spain.
watching the bullfights.
Also participating,
Yeah, and
right? Or he
participating.
was watching.
He was watching two Jakes bullfight.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So he didn't know that I put the little Easter egg nugget of Petey in the stands in the Photoshop session. So that we're out at the ranch, and I said, "We saw that the stands, right?" And he's like, "No." And then he zooms in and he's lost it. We're dying because he hadn't seen that part yet. So we've got that tradition where he sends me stuff. I left him a message the other day, and I'm like, whatever seventh wonder of the world you're visiting right now, or third largest ball of twine,
Yeah.
will you please give me a call so I can figure out? Because every time I talk to him and Ange, it's like we're in we're in Madrid and we're in Spain and I'm like, and he's hunting everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like you have got the greatest setup because you're like, you know what I'm going to do? Are we going there for business?
Yes.
What can I hunt?
Yes.
That's your thing. And he just shot a mouflon.
It's a good way to do it, though.
Yeah.
Oh my
Phenomenal way
gosh,
to
yeah.
do it.
We were up in the Pyrenees and it was just breathtaking. Right on the border of France. There's a country called Aldera, something like that. It's a little circle up there right between France and Spain in the middle of the Pyrenees. You don't pay any taxes. I have no idea how the people get there or how many people are there, but they were pointing it out to me, and sure enough, it's on the map. So, but it's just, you're up in the snow, you're on the edge of the snow, there's a lot of animals, a lot of game, all running wild, super cool. And then did a road deer hunt, European road deer hunt closer to Madrid, and I thought of you guys a lot because it's so much like white-tailed deer hunting. The terrain can be fairly simple. They feed in the fields and they go into the brush and all that good stuff, right? But they're nocturnal, first light, last light. The hunters, it's like hunting with you guys. I mean, they know every piece of land. They know certain, and they're territorial, so they're looking for a certain buck, if you will.
Yep.
So much fun. A lot like our
wild.
whitetail.
Yeah.
Wherever your adventure takes you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. From the timberline to the campsites to the lake and the range, get your family outfitted with the right gear. With premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Instinct, Redhead, and Natural Reflections, they've got the apparel and the gear to make it the best adventure ever. Stop by today for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in-store or online at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores. Your adventure starts here. All right, let's talk about beer for a second. You ever notice there's a big difference between Busch Light drinkers and other beer drinkers? I like to say we live on the wild side. A guy with a Busch Light in his hand, he's a man of the people. He's out there in the wild every day. He's in the trenches smashing bushies with a smile on his face. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He's not looking for a soulmate. He just needs something to wash that damn jerky down. And he's got himself a 12-pack of Freedom in a can. And when that can gets cracked, it's like opening a door to a whole different world. It's just a vibe. And if you haven't felt it, you should. So go grab yourself a case of bushies, give them a rip, and take a walk on the wild side. You've got things that matter. Memories, heirlooms, documents, firearms. And we all know that life is unpredictable. At Winchester Safes, they make sure life's unpredictable moments don't take those things from you. They use state-of-the-art methods that refuse to sacrifice quality. They put everything they have into their products, offering proven protection and peace of mind. There's only one safe company worthy of the title, the American Legend, and that's Winchester Safes. Follow at Winchester Safes or learn more on winchestersafes.com. Let's talk about mountain ops. a brand that I rely on to fuel my fire in more ways than one. I could sit here and talk about how undeniably essential Ignite is to my daily life. I could explain the benefits of the super greens, and I could ponder out loud how they got those super greens and super reds for that matter to taste so damn good. Or I could just give you a quick look into who they are as a company, because to me that matters more than anything. So here it is. They recognize God and acknowledge His hand in all things. They believe in being worthy of others' trust. They're reliable and honest with their information. And lastly, they take full and personal responsibility for their actions and the outcomes. There you have it. If you want to learn more about Mountain Ops and stay connected, check them out on social media at Mountain Ops or head on over to their website, mountainops.com. And remember, if you want to save some cash, use code Keefer. One of the stories I love the most is the Alaska gong show, the Alaska debacle.
Why did I know that would come up? Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. The
Which day of death? Because there were 6 of them.
There's 6 legitimate, like, shit could have gone real bad.
Shit did go real bad.
Yeah.
From the moment I got there.
Yeah.
Right. And
what were you there? What were you there to hunt for that one?
So set that up.
I'm sorry. It was grizzly bear
Yeah,
and caribou.
Yep.
Right.
Yep,
And it's
yep.
Alaska is so full of game. And this guy was half Bushman or native and half American.
Yeah.
Nice guy, my age, and had done it all his life. Had been on TV shows as a guide, right? Yeah. And so I had booked through, it came up through an outfitter, booked it. Anyway, get there. I should have known from day one. So we go to his town, Galena, this little place. You land on a little strip. We get in a jet boat and we go 70 miles up the Yukon River. And then we turn left at a town called Ruby and we go up a smaller river. And he said there's 4 hunters and him, and he's got a cabin way up this little river. And he says, okay, we're by some really nasty rapids, so 2 of you and half the gear have to get out of the boat. Then I'm going to shoot the rapids upstream with the guys, then I'll drop them off on the other side, then come back, get the rest of you. And that's when I should have said, turn the boat around, go back, right?
What are we doing here?
So me being me, I was like, well, what? And we did it, and it was hairy. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you got life vests on, and it's a crotch grabber. Yep. And so, and then you get up there, and there's huge rocks, and I mean, you guys know,
Yeah.
And so it's just no way you should have done it. So we get there, we get up, and we're fine, and I'm like, out of curiosity, like, why all this? Why not just take a float plane? And he goes, well, used to do that. My pilot got COVID and died, so I haven't found another pilot since, but I figured out how to shoot these rapids, and, we've made it so far. So he did it with Argos.
That's good.
And the next problem is the Argos are, so then you go up this little river again in jet boats, and then you stop, and no kidding, the Argos are supposed to be there. And you take this trail that you can see from satellite. Seriously.
Yeah.
And you go up the mountains, incredible mountains on both sides, but you go right up this thing and then you're on top and you're looking at the ridges this way, right?
Yeah.
And you know how they run. And so, piece of cake. Well, we're waiting. He goes, oh, I got another Argo and we're trying to bring it up river. So they loaded on this jet boat and they're trying to bring it up river. He got bad gas, made a deal for gas in Ruby, bad gas. So the boat,
I've had bad gas.
no power, won't go on step.
Oh.
Can't get
Trying
anywhere.
to get an Argo through the rapids.
So they got one up river, and they took 2 of the hunters and 1 guy to that one that had made it. We're already a day and a half behind. He puts the other 3. He goes, it's okay. I think I know how to get there going over these other mountains. We'll make it in a day and a half, no problem. I'm like, cool, let's go. I mean, you trust your guide. And so we do that. So those 2 guys and their guide, they head up, we wave goodbye. They get up. 3 hours later, they're on top up where you set camp.
Yep.
The problem is they didn't have any food. We had all the food. So they had a couple protein bars and some nuts. And so they make it day 1. Day 1 for us ended at midnight in a swamp, pulling one of the Argos out with a chain, and then thankfully, I don't even know how, finding one dry piece of land that was enough to fit the Argos on where we could just sleep. And day 2 started with fixing the chain on one. And I think that day, in 14 hours, we went 1 mile. He kept he's breaking, those Argos, by the way, will knock down 14-foot tall
Trees,
bush.
yeah.
They roll. So unfortunately, that's what we're doing. So he can't see. And I go, don't you have a GPS? He goes, it burned up in my house fire. So he's going on memory.
God, just a series of unfortunate events.
His memory sucks. Yeah. And it's just one day after another was worse. One time we ended up in he drove right off the edge of probably 3 or 4 times where he's just driving in the bush. And you know how it is. There's a deep creek and it's all rocky. And he's just like, boop. And the thing's face down like this. And I'm in it. I'm like, I'm out. So we've got to push it over, pull the other one, get it in, find a way out, and off you go. And there were so many. There was one where it was about a 15-foot drop and we would have died. And by the grace of God, we hit a stump and high centered on it. And he couldn't get it off the high center of the stump. And I got out and just took a look around to the stump and I could hear water. And like 15, 20 feet down, it was just a sheer drop.
Unreal.
That would have been a goner. I mean, every night was holy terror. And luckily it was August, so it was light till 1 or 2, right? Yeah. So you could start at 5 a.m., go till 2. Then it started, and it rained. And I really didn't think we were going to make it out. I've been in situations, you guys, we all
feel
have,
it out.
Right?
You know. Feel
you
it.
know, and they're perilous, but they're moments of peril.
Yeah.
And you're like, it happens, but you handle it and you react and you don't panic and you find a solution, right? Yeah. This was just a never-ending crisis.
Yeah.
And it just wore you out. And there was a point where I called, and there was never a time where you could have called a helicopter on a sat phone to try and get you out. But the way that hunt was going, I feel like the helicopter would have just nosedived into a cliff with me in it. So that kind of wasn't an option. And finally, by the 4th or 5th day, you start making jokes about it. You know,
you've
accepted it.
He smoked, so he smoked and drank Red Bull. So I started smoking and drinking Red Bull to try and keep the other guys lighthearted and imitating him and things like that. But ultimately, we saw so many times we were just the Argo's washing down river. We can't cross. You picked the wrong place in the braided river to cross, and the one broke down. We left it and we piled into one. And the final night, this is 6 days. And we get up that next morning and we're all in, there's 5 of us and we're in this pretty small tent. And he goes, man, we're so close. I said, so close to what? He goes, well, today we'll make it there and then we'll have 3 days to hunt. I said, dude, you got people at home right now that have paid you to come hunt after our hunt for 10 days. They're having dinner with their families. Yeah. They're dreaming of the Alaskan frontier and the adventure of a lifetime. Yeah. If you seriously try and hunt for 3 days with your broken gear and this nightmare, I said, I'm not going to do that to those families and I don't even know them. Yeah. We're done. Yeah. I will help you fix your gear. We're going to get all back down to the right place, and you're going to spend those 3 days with your mechanic making everything right for this next group, because people could die. I said, now I will say, you got us out of more hopeless situations than every other time combined in my life. And he goes, yeah, but I kind of got us into them too. I'm like, no, you absolutely got us into them, right?
Not kind of.
But it was did. When we saw that other Argo and those guys. So keep in mind, for those 5 days, they're sharing. By the 4th day, they're sharing a protein bar.
Were they pissed at you for intentionally stealing their food?
No. The first thing that happened when we saw them, the first thing that happened is I see their Argo coming down the hill, and we make it across this big river, and it's daytime, and you're just completely exhausted. Yeah. In fact, I used a sat phone. I called home, and sorry, man. Yeah. It was real. Yeah. I called home because I wanted to say goodbye to my wife and just say, okay, love you, just calling to tell you we're having a great time. I got voicemail, but I left that message. Yeah. And it was weird. You talk about the universe, and my mom had called her and said, is Mike okay? I feel like something's wrong. My dad had called, hey, how's he doing? I feel like, and they don't call a lot. I mean, Dad, but they just don't do that. And so it's so weird to hear that after the fact. But when I saw that Argo coming down, I knew that their way was easy. And I knew even if these Argos couldn't get up that hill, I could, right? And I didn't care how thick the bush was or what the traverse was, I was getting to there, because there meant home. Yep. And I remember seeing them, and they came down, and everybody hugged. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby. Oh yeah, God, I knew, because it was absolutely awful. Yep. And the guy, it just, so the one of the clients, so the guide says to the younger guide, comes up and goes, "Hey man, we're starving." And our guide goes, "I tried to tell you, you're screwing up. You should have taken your food with you." And the client was a pretty big guy, Jerry, and he goes, I forget the guy's name, but he told him, "You need to shut up right now because I'm going to kick your ass." I'm like, great. I finally survive, and now I'm going to be in a celebrity deathmatch fight, right, with no energy left. But yeah, I sorry for the long diatribe, but that was
that's incredible, man.
When shit goes wrong out there, it can
snowball.
Oh, the snowball is not good.
So if I tell you guys this, how prepared, because you're getting ready to go on dropped again.
Yeah.
You're going to get dropped again, which I'm living vicariously through you. I can't wait. I love it for you guys. But how much preparation goes into that for you guys, from gear and checking the gear and the quality of everything and a backup plan for everything, and how many months in advance do you start, right?
It's insane.
Oh.
We're a month. We're a year out.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
Like legitimately looking at past conditions of rivers, looking at weather, looking at all that stuff, starting a year out to try to understand what we could be in for. I will say this, obviously satellite has made it a hell of a lot easier than it used to be. We used to look at a paper map and be like, well, the last time they made a paper map, this is what it looked like. But now satellite, we can at least see things from the air.
Were you out there on a hill in the stars at night with one of those sensits or whatever those are, plotting the next day's course?
Plotting course.
100%. Well, and it's little things like you said, like the food thing, right? Like it doesn't seem like a big thing. You go, well, we're going to go up, and then they'll be up, and they have the food. And the answer is no. There's no
guarantee they're coming up.
They may not ever make it, and then so when we're out there, obviously we don't have food, but we have emergency rations if it gets to the point where we absolutely have to. And you have to have those in some way, shape, or form, because when it goes down and it's real, you need to be prepared as an individual. So even on a guided hunt, you've got to bring your stuff and have your gear ready to go and know what you're doing. You rely on the guide for the terrain and the animals, but you got to have that instinct and really do your research on what you're doing before you go out there, because you get a bad guide, a rookie, someone that's like, I'm just going to, and next thing you know, they can get you in more trouble than you're in, right? And I think that's why we've had the same crew pretty much on drop for so many years, because we know that even though Jason and somebody else will be behind the lens, if shit goes down, they're prepared on the other side. No question. You trust them without a shadow of a doubt.
That was part of our first season. When we first signed up to do drop, they wanted to send a production crew from the network.
Oh, no.
And we were adamant about absolutely not. I'm sure they can run a camera. They can't do what we're about to do. And that's no knock on those guys. It's just not their world. They live in a studio, and it is what it is. Yeah. Our whole thing was I know if I fall down and snap an ankle, one of my guys is putting me on his back, and we're going to get out.
Yeah, of course.
That guy's going to tuck tail and run for the hills. I have no idea who that guy is or what he's going to do.
So we'll make a splint. Yeah. We'll wrap it with whatever we have to. We'll cut T-shirts and wrap it, and we'll get you out. Yeah. No, and I would, you talk about, everyone will say, always be prepared for everything, plan ahead, that you can apply that to anything in life. But Alaska will completely devour you and shred you, and you'll die if you're not prepared.
Yes.
And it was a classic case. You guys talk about how far in advance you are. I'm there the first day of hunting where we're supposed to be starting up the hill, and we're waiting on our Argo. He just bought at some auction at some point in the past that died on him, bringing it over the hill to get it to the river, to come up river with bad gas. It was
red flags everywhere.
Yeah.
Terrible. We've got a saying that think twice and act once. That's like the old carpenter, right? It's measure twice, cut once. We do we think everything through from as many angles as we can think it through, and then finally come to consensus and say, all right, let's go.
And it's not a place of fear. You're not hesitant because you're afraid. No. You just need to slow the pace down.
Can't be in a hurry out there.
When shit goes sideways, everything speeds up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when everything speeds up, bad things happen.
You know how many times, you guys can attest to this, we have gone to bed at night with a game plan baked out. Here's what we're going to do. This is how it's going to go. This is what we want. This is where the moose are. This is what we're up to. And then you wake up in the morning and you go outside and you're like, well, none of that's going to happen because Alaska is Alaska-ing right now, and it's kicking our ass in one way, shape, or form. It's all the time. When you think about preparation for up there, and we're actually building a lot of content around this right now.
We are.
You got to prep your mind. You got to prep your body. You got to prep your soul. You got to prep your gear. You got to pay attention to the environment. There is so many things that people don't think about it, it's not like going turkey hunting here where you just step out into the timber.
Yeah.
No.
Like it's a whole, especially with us because we do it for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different. I got to know what that place is like on September 1st, and we also got to know what it's like on September 30th.
Yes.
Because generally we're in there that whole time, and that can be a drastic difference. I mean, we've actually,
is.
we got yanked out I think 7 days early one year because the river was actively freezing in on us as we were floating down.
We would go from rowing to sledding.
Yeah.
If we didn't get out.
And trying to keep in touch with pilots and give guys like, here's my last known coordinates. Here's where we're planning on getting to this spot, just for safety reasons. And that year it was like, here's our coordinates. Here's where we're going to go. And literally the pilot Ken, he actually laughed.
Yeah.
He's like, it's awesome. It's a great plan. I'll see you tomorrow. We're like, what? He's like, there's a storm coming, and if I don't get you out, I might not get you out at all.
Right.
We were 52 miles
52.
or 51 or 52
52
miles
miles.
from that location, and we had to get in the rafts. That was
All
the
night.
most miserable I've ever been on drop.
It was an all night. There was
35,
no
40 mile an
stopping.
hour
There was
headwind.
no. It's dark out. I mean, we stopped, had to build a fire. One of the guys almost got hypothermia, and we had to stop and get him warm. And then we just. But it is. You're standing there in the middle of Alaska. You've built this fire not to just have a nice fire. You've built it for survival.
Yep.
And then you're going, I put myself in this situation. How am I going to get out of it? But then you look around and you're like, everybody is here to do the same thing, and we'll slow down, and we're going to get you warm, and then we're going to get in the raft, and it's like it goes literally step by step by step. And then for planners, or for someone like me who I'm like, I see it over there, I'm going to skip everything and go there. Like it's hard to slow the fuck down and go step by step, and you have to out there.
But if I could say one thing about you, you react so well and non-emotionally to any upsetting crisis. I mean, it's just wonderful how you're the air of calm amongst the group.
No emotion
Always
whatsoever.
admired that about you.
Yeah, it's a
If
big,
you
strong.
look at the barometer, it hovers around here. It
Never.
never does
And it doesn't
that.
swing.
No.
Casey,
No.
you said
Keeps
something.
it all in.
You what you described
Keeps it
is
all in.
the saying that comes to mind is man plans, God laughs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you talk about the mental side of it, and I learned it sheep hunting. The mental side, it's important to be in shape physically, but it's more important to be in shape mentally because you still have to plan.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, I'll see what's thrown at me. And that's what happened with this guy and us, right? I'll just react.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan, and then when God laughs, you have to just take a deep breath, be patient, be mentally strong, right? And just work your way through it because there's always a solution if you take your time.
If you
Like you
take your
said,
time.
plan twice.
Yep.
And
Think twice,
execute.
Apple.
Think twice, think twice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's there's just and the thing about Alaska especially, I always tell people it doesn't ask you to do anything.
Yeah.
It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and you just got to figure it out on the fly. And I think for me, that's part of what's so awesome with Dropped. No matter how many times we've done that trip, how many hundreds of days we've spent off grid, backcountry in Alaska, every day's different. Every hour can be different. I mean, you can be like, yeah, we're up on this ridge and it's beautiful and we're glassing. And an hour later, it's like, we got to get the hell off of this ridge, like right now.
Right.
I mean, we've gotten it even in the Yukon up in sheep camp. It's beautiful leaving the base. And by the time you get up there and you hit that ridge and that 60 mile an hour wind's ripping, what you thought at 40 degrees felt all right is all of a sudden like, holy shit, this is bad.
And that's where people make mistake because they're comfy here, right? So then they don't take that extra jacket. They're like, oh, we'll be back at base camp.
No.
And then they get out there and they can't get back, and all of a sudden they're frozen and they don't have. So it's like it doesn't matter how heavy it is. Pack it, take it with you if you think you're going to use it. But I think mental error becomes a thing too. I mean, we were up in Alaska in the Brooks and the knife situation.
Yeah.
You guys all know how many deer and animals I've caped, like hundreds upon hundreds. And
Why'd you never do mine?
I've done so many of your capes. So up in Alaska, we had this situation where I was caping a caribou and it got me, and I slipped. Just one mental, just like that.
Just not even a mental. That is I've done this 100, how many? Thousands of
Thousands.
times.
I mean, probably 1,000 times.
And it's mindless, like,
Yeah.
Thunk. Oh my!
And I
To the bone.
I turned around and went like this and looked at Casey and said, "That's a problem." And the knife is hanging out of my hand, and it's right there as the scar.
Half inch.
Look at the difference between that being in my wrist
Correct.
and now we're getting
Bleeding out.
lifelike.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's the difference. Is literally inches.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
You're
And it
you're
was-
missing a limb right now.
Yeah, and it's
you're
like
down to one wing.
Yeah, I would absolutely
'Cause
just
it's a
stump it.
tourniquet,
I'd just
you
be
know?
stumped up and just, but I'd figure out a way to
Yeah,
get like a
figure that
little
out.
metal claw or something would have been awesome. But
You know, on Alaska, can I share one story where we went after an animal?
Yeah.
So we're day, I don't know, 4 of death, and we're on this knob, and we're on dry ground, which was great. And so we get up. We can't go anywhere because one of the Argos blew a chain, and they have to fix it. And we ended the night at 2 a.m, dragging it up out of the swampy stuff to where we could stay on dry ground. So the mechanic's going to take 6 or 7 hours to fix it. So one of the guys gets out a spot and scope, and he's looking around. He spots a grizzly bear. And this thing was, I looked at it through the scope. It was gorgeous. And it was huge. It had like a blondish, and then it went to black, and just a gorgeous grizzly bear. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, at least I saw an animal. You know, that's cool. And it's midday. And so the guy goes, hey, you want to go get it? And I'm thinking to myself, we're on a survival mission now. Like, you know, where is your head?
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, we can't go anywhere. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So we take off in the Argo, and we go down, up, and of course it's overheating, and then it's not turning left, and anyway. So we get on. I'm serious, it was so bad. So we get on the ridge, and there were a couple of moose that were below the bear, and the bear's in the berries that time of year. August is a great time there because they're in the berries, and they tend to stay. If you see them, they're going to stay right there.
They sit on a patch.
Yes.
They'll sit there
He's
till
laying on the
is
patch.
gone.
It was so cool, right? In and amongst all this doom, there's this beauty of nature, and so we get on this ridge, and we get to where, and I noticed the moose like start walking into the bottom to get into the bottom, like into cover, and the bear's gone. And it's like everything's just gone, and it went into the timber. And I'm thinking, well, that's weird. And I hadn't paid attention to that. It got really cloudy. And so then we're looking, and he goes, he's got to be somewhere. They never walk away like that. He's got to be somewhere. And we're on this knob glassing from about, 1,000 yards. And all of a sudden I hear a distant like, and I was like, I hope that's a jet, right?
Yeah.
Thunder. The biggest thunderstorm you ever want to be in. I know you guys get big ones out here.
Yeah.
This thing rolls in on us. And he goes, well, we got to get back. This is bad. And so I'm like, this, you're actually saying this is bad at this point? Yeah. And so we drive, we don't even make it through the first ridge and up the other side. And it just unleashes hell on us. And it's driving rain, constant lightning, thunder. And I'm like, you know what it is? This is just my ticket. Like, this is it. This is a cursed trip.
Yeah.
It's been doomed from the get-go. I probably tried to do too much this year.
Yeah.
And I remember raising, because normally in thunderstorms I'll hunker or something, I remember throwing my hood back, raising my
like
hand to the
Shawshank,
sky,
just getting out of the tunnel.
Just get it over with. Like,
Getting out of the
take
sewer.
me.
Yeah.
So that was our one option.
Bruce Almighty said, smite
Smite
me,
me.
Almighty, smite her.
Please take me. It's less painful. End it.
Yeah.
And but because those bears don't leave those berries, they lay right on them, and they
But
stay.
they knew. Nature knows, right?
He's like,
They're
I'm outta
when
here.
nature starts going for cover, you better go for
Everything was gone.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just one that popped into my mind from many.
Yeah.
cover. That's crazy.
The cues you can take from nature are cool, though.
Yeah.
When you pay attention. Remember being in the Yukon with Rock Bovan, this old, this guy. We'll tell his story eventually here one day. He's an old trapper. He went and tracked the Ray and Hoffman gold rush cabins across the Yukon and rebuilt all these things. This guy's been out there forever. His family's from Quebec. They're actually part of the Bombardier world, and he's like, he had a golden ticket.
You had a chance.
Literally he didn't have to do anything ever. And he's like,
He left.
I'm going to the Yukon. And so we meet this guy out there. And you look at him, he grew up, he lived on the Stewart River, like raised his family out there, no power, no anything, completely off grid. This guy was an unbelievable rock star. And we're sitting there one day in the middle of the Yukon, and he's just looking around, and we're like, what's going on? He's like, no bugs. And he was very concerned that there was no bugs all of a sudden. And he's like, you know how I know there's no bugs? We're like, no. He's like, no birds. He's looking around, there's no birds around. There's no birds chirping. There's no birds flying. No little, birds in the tundra, and like nothing. And it's just, it makes you realize somebody who's been out there that long, the mindset they have.
Oh yeah.
They become one. Like he just instinctively is looking around and he's like, something is wrong and this is what's happening and this is why.
Yeah.
So, and we ended up, the weather came in and it just got absolutely miserable after that, but he knew it long before I recognized it anyway.
Now there's a guy that when I would have guessed that this is a 70-plus-year-old man when I first met him, and we were talking. I said, "Rock, how old are you?" He's like, 51. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
The Yukon has been tough on this man, but he was.
We need to get into his story.
Yeah.
There's a book written about him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we shot a sizzle and pitched it to history, and it got a long ways, almost a green light.
Yeah.
The guy's amazing.
I can imagine you guys have an incredible appreciation for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Subjecting yourself to literally being a part of the land for 28 days, 21 days.
It's incredible.
It's hard to even describe. When you get there, it's like, for me, it's such okay, I'm here. This is where I belong, finally. And then it's a slow disconnect.
Yeah.
And then I hit that certain point where it's like, by the time I'm 8-9 days into it, like I'm
even
there.
thinking about anything else but getting up.
I'm there. It's hour by hour, minute by minute.
And I was going to touch on the same thing, Jason. You're exactly right. It took me, as I look back on a lot of the backpack mountain hunts for sheep, when I was younger, like you boys are now.
Before 56.
When I was 50, 58, 60, it's over. But, looking back on those, it was 4 days. By the fourth day, everything that you thought mattered in domestic society was gone. The conference calls, the meetings, the budget plans, all of that was irrelevant. And your mind is so clear. And for me, at that point, all the other senses were awakened even more. Mm-hmm. It's hard to describe. You get it because you've done it. But, that's the best I can describe it. But it's more of a feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it happens, and the calm and the peace but the awareness, and you become a part of it. You really do. Yep. And when you're extracted, when you come back after 2 weeks out there is the most I've done. You come back, and it actually takes about a week to reacclimate to the pace of what you're doing, because it doesn't really matter even when you get back. It's like, this is nothing compared to what I just was a part of and experienced, right?
The first time we came out and we were in Fairbanks, and we'd spent 28, it was the first season. First time we'd ever spent that amount of time in the bush, 28 days, we get flown in. And we're in a Holiday Inn Express, and you and I were in the same
almost shot the maid.
It was like you sleep on the ground so long, the bed almost didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. Like, I want my sleeping bag, I want my pad, I want to lay on the floor.
Yeah.
But we had our gun. We just were carrying strapped the whole time out there. In the bush, so we had the guns on the nightstand, and it was middle of the night, and the maid or somebody came down with a cart in the hallway, hit the wall, and you're so used to when you're sleeping in the tent, you're on pins and needles. Not that you're concerned about bear, but you're always thinking about a bear.
Yeah. Sure.
And we had a couple in camp that year that we had the whole hay bear thing that we did, and they were right there outside. We could hear them, we could see them, and your senses, to your point. Your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, all the things are like heightened when you're out there, because your body takes over, everything takes over. And in that, she hit the wall with that cart, and we both got up, and he grabs his gun, and he's like, immediately we were in the tent still, and that was a bear.
It was crazy. She
man.
was about to take a 10mm and a 44. It was like that. I forgot we were out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I clicked up. I looked at him, and I'm like full drawn, and I'm like, trying to open my eyes, and I'm like, what? We're in a TV, like there's a TV. And then I'm like, wait. And then it was like, and he's like, he had his hand on the gun, and I'm like, what was that? He's like, I think it was the maid. And then we just started laughing because we're like, holy smokes. But it's that intense.
I mean, you think of the military, I mean, it's a fraction of what they go through.
Yeah.
But when they come back and reacclimate, do you really ever reacclimate?
Yeah.
When you're out there?
And this is why I think it's so hard to explain, because you're constantly into fight or flight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The whole time.
It's true.
Every decision, every moment, you're constantly in that fight or flight mode. And so if you've never experienced that before, it's just hard. It is a feeling. It really is. And I think what you touched on, Mike, the biggest way that I try to be part of it is to be part of what's happening. Yeah. I think what you experienced on your outfitted hunt, that guy was trying to make shit happen.
He was reacting to what Alaska was throwing him without preparedness, right?
And if you do that, you're toast.
You're chasing.
Yeah, you're
How many things work
toast.
when you're chasing?
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
You're toast.
But rarely, if ever. And I will say, and listening to that, it's so true. And you guys know I do a lot of stuff with wounded combat veterans, and had been in the Navy, and it just there's never enough we can do for all of our wounded combat veterans.
No, I'm
seriously right now? You guys have to cut that part out.
In
you can't
the
laugh when I
Navy.
talk about the wounded
I'm
combat
not laughing
veterans.
at the wounded combat veterans. I'm laughing at you in the Navy and the missile.
Okay, we're not going to do that one today.
We're not going to do
could.
that.
We can't
All right,
do
we
the
can.
missile.
We can. It's been
You got-
declassified. Okay, so
You got to hear the story before we end. And that's what I'm laughing
Deal.
Are
at.
you like
All right.
down Periscope Navy or?
Oh yeah, he's Navy. He's on a ship.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm not taking away from the Wounded Veterans Cherry Bend operation.
Oh, of course.
All of that.
Operation
I
Cherry.
love that organization. But when you said Navy, I can't not think of you putting the missile.
Hold on. Before you do that, piss break.
Piss break for
Piss
sure.
break.
Piss break.
All right.
Okay.
For some of us, the hunt never stops. Grizzly understands that more than most. Rugged, reliable, and built to never back down. Whether you're on the trail, by the water, or deep in the dark timber, Grizzly is by your side. Tough enough to take on the wild and ready for whatever you can throw. Grizzly is committed to products that never let you down. Always on the hunt with Grizzly. Out here in the wild, precision isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Leupold Optics is built on the foundation of American craftsmanship, where every features function first. For over a century now, they've combined dedication and technology with a relentless put-it-to-the-test attitude, creating optics that stand up when everything else stands down. When it matters most, you need the best. That's what you get with Leupold Optics. While other companies out there warranty failure, Leupold guarantees performance for life. Some call it out on the trail. I like to call it the road less traveled. The kind of place where the going gets tough. That's where Tracker Off-Road comes in. Made for those who won't back down. Tracker Off-Road delivers the hardest working machines with the greatest capability at the strongest value in the industry. Built by those who know what it takes and designed for those who don't turn back. Tracker is dedicated to delivering machines that let you get the most out of your day and your dollar. Ready to take on your next adventure? Go with Tracker Off-Road.
Every shot counts. And when it's time to make it count, you want the best. Winchester Ammunition has built its legacy on a commitment to innovation by continuously pushing what's possible. In the heartland of America, the American legend crafts ammunition that's purpose-built, reliable, accurate, and ready to perform no matter how harsh the conditions. Whether you're hunting or shooting for sport, Winchester will be there.
All right, we're back. I do have to say, Schuster doesn't like when we say piss break, so I'm going to call it out and say we have to say bathroom break. That's what Schuster said.
Oh, Schuster.
So Cornelius, we just had a piss break.
Easy.
I will never say bathroom
Bapple.
break ever.
There it is.
could it be
I
a
had to do
Bapple give back?
Yeah, it's
Babble get back.
Babble
Babble
give
give
back. I like that.
Go
That's
Babble
what it
give
was.
back.
All right, so we're back, and before we left, we were talking about the veterans who I absolutely have very much respect for, but you can't say Navy without me laughing. So you take it from here. Where do you want to go? We've got some time. What do you want to do? You want to go veterans first?
No, I just listen. All I was saying is with the wounded combat veterans, PTSD is real.
Yes.
Right? Suicide's real. Awareness of it. Anything anyone can do at any level is not enough, but just doing something is great for anybody out there. But the PTSD, I've never experienced it or had it. And after that Alaskan trip, I had a nap. I fell asleep in the middle of the day. You're just exhausted when you make it. And I fell asleep in my house on the couch. And I remember waking up from a deep sleep, and I was stuck, stranded. You just wake up and you freak out. And PTSD was real, and I know it was post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what it was from all the stress of that. And I remember thinking, even though I was aware that I was home and okay, I couldn't come off it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was weird,
Yeah.
and it's scary. And I can't even imagine our wounded combat veterans and their level of PTSD and what it must be like for them. And I understand why suicide rates are so high, because if that wouldn't have gone away, what do you do?
Right.
So it's real. I just want to share that.
And the way we've experienced it is a fraction of what they
Fraction.
do. Like, not even a
Exactly.
fraction of a fraction
Exactly.
of what they go through.
Exactly.
The utmost respect for what they've done, and then just to have to go through that is, so you're right. Anytime you can give back, give back.
And whatever you can give back, none of it's ever enough. But
Yeah.
give everything you can when you can.
A simple thank you when
Yeah.
you see a veteran walking through an airport.
Oh, yeah.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
It just matters, right? And I think all Americans know that and do a great job.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're a veteran. You're the veteran of the Navy.
okay.
And
Absolutely.
we got to end it on a high note,
It
because
built us
I don't know
up.
if you
I hope
guys
it's
know
good.
the story. But,
Yes.
so the first time I heard this story, I almost fell over. So Mike has to tell it in Mike's way.
Yeah.
But you were in the Navy. You're on a ship. Take it from there.
Yeah, 5 years. Hayes Grant underway, more time at sea than on land. Amazing experience, honored to have served my country. But you do some firing drills when you're deployed overseas. And so there's shipping lanes. These are the places like driving lanes, freeways. There are lanes that transport and cargo ships are supposed to use. So if you're coming from the Far East to the Pacific, West Coast, you follow these shipping lanes. That way, if there's trouble, it's common sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the map, here's the path. So when we do firing missions, we'll drag some old rust bucket out there and, an old ship that they want to sink anyway, and they'll pull it way out in the middle of nowhere, way away from the shipping lanes, right? Where nothing should be. And nothing human made. And then they send out maritime notices. So all these cargo ships and everything, you always get notices, So we say the U.S. Navy is going to be conducting a live fire drill on a target in these coordinates on this date at this time. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
And so we were shooting, I want to say it was the Tomahawk missiles then. It was the late 80s. And so an F-18 took off from a carrier and fired one, a submarine fired one, and we as a surface warship fired one. And then the whole goal was to work the coordinates for the electronics, right? That's why you do the firing missions and make sure it's accurate. And so everyone does their fire. And the warheads were blunts, right? They're not tipped, right? They're just, arrows, right?
Yeah.
It's a blunt.
Yeah.
It's not a
Judo
broadhead.
point, if you will.
It's the Tomahawk Judo
Yeah,
point.
it's a Tomahawk Judo.
We actually had nuclear package on them. Like to see,
Going hot,
we like to
boys.
see who gets the biggest mushroom cloud, us, the F-18, or the sub. And so it's just, it's just a piece of metal hurtling through the air at the target. And so all of a sudden, we realize that it's locked on to something else. Something big, something else. It's not going to. So the all three lock on. So the F-18 chases theirs down and shoots it out of the sky over the horizon, shoots it down. Verifies they shoot it down. It's still up in the air to this day, almost 40 years later. We said we got ours to detonate midair, but the submarine claims they got theirs to detonate midair, and submarines beat warships in a battle, so they got their way. So in the end, one of the missiles did not get blown up. It actually hit the wrong thing, which happened to be an Indian tanker, right? So think, it's very good to see you, Casey, my friend.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And so this tanker, and so if you know these tankers, they're all cargo. And then there's one big superstructure across the top, and there's only about 20 to 25 people on it.
You're
right?
talking like a TMU
Sorry?
setup? Like
Yeah.
a TMU
Yeah.
setup with
Shipping containers.
shipping containers
Yeah, it's
on
all
it?
the containers,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But then the
Gotcha.
superstructure's over the top, so that's where the captain and the navigator and all these people are, right? And the guy watching and everything else. So they're all up there, and you got to cook and some people, but they all live in this 7-level superstructure.
Is this official? At sea, you have to look like this?
You do, yes.
The only
Yes.
way you can actually
Slightly
look.
tilted, but if it stuns low, you got to come down, right? But it's an adjustable visor. So it's like, it's impacted the target. hey, you guys are the closest warship. Go
Way to go.
offer,
Go see what
go
you
offer
did.
assistance, right? So Casey, I didn't mean to shoot a hole in you,
Yeah.
but since I'm the closest guy, I'm going to come over and just see how you're feeling.
How we doing?
Oh, I had a top secret clearance, so I'm in the Combat Information Center. So I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, oh, I've got to see this. This is insanity. So then they're like, by the way, when you pull up, make sure 4 or 5 people are out on topside with firearms present, right? So be armed in case they're freaking out, which they should have been. So we just shot a hole through their superstructure. So we're coming up, and we don't know what's happened, but we're going to offer assistance. And so we're coming up on them, and you see through the big eyes, the ship's big eyes, you can see on the horizon, here's the ship, and I'm looking, and I'm not kidding you, there's a hole, a perfect hole, about 2/3 of the way up this white superstructure, and it's big. A Tomahawk missile isn't like, a 300 round.
Yeah.
It's a
telephone
freaking
pole.
It's a giant hole.
So there's a hole all the way through it, and it looked like, the best way to describe it, because we get closer and closer, and then you can just see it. And I'm looking at, and it looked like somebody took a cigar to a piece of paper and just ran it right through it. So you got the black singe marks all around where the cigar ash got it, and that's there.
Yeah.
And it's tragic because somebody died, right? One person was killed, and then one person was injured, but not badly. And so we pull up, and they're not happy. And we're like, hey, we're here to offer assistance. And I think the first thing we said was like, it wasn't us. We just happened to be assigned to come help you. And in situations like that, there's very few times in your life I would encourage lying. This is one of them. So we they're like, come on board. So we helicopter, we lift our ship's doctor and an armed guard up over and put them on the main deck, and then they walk over and they confirm the one person's dead, and they box him up, and that's that. And then they offer assistance to the other guy. And then that was it. Like, we lifted our guy back over, our 2 guys, and, we said goodbye, and they kept staying on with, it didn't damage the ship was fully underway and under power, right? It
So
just had a cigar hole
Just
right
had a
through
full
the-
pass
Just
through.
had an
Yeah,
entire
it had a
Tomahawk
new
missile
breezeway is what you'd call it.
right through the superstructure.
I mean,
At what point did the panic set in when everybody went, you know what? That doesn't look like what we're supposed to be locked onto.
and I will tell you, it was intense and urgent, right? But when you're in the military, you talk about fight or flee, especially for the fighter pilots, right? And a lot of those senior officers, and they've seen a lot. But you're really trained to not overreact to anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is serious. Nothing is a problem. It'll be fine, right? In fact, I think Ange heard one of the first female Navy pilots that was going off a carrier. She gave a great talk at a carrier conference, an insurance carrier conference, and she said, they have words like when they're out of fuel, like they've completely run out of fuel. It's called bingo fuel. It's like, that's not the time I would be like, bingo, right?
Yeah, right.
But these are the ways they train you, and you don't know because it's ingrained in you from day one. So as intense as it was, as urgent as it was, nobody's like, holy shit, it's going at the ship, shoot it.
Just
There's
even keel.
none of that. It's like,
Everyone's
F-18, and their call sign is there. It's like, please retrieve your package and detonate it, please, immediately. And that's that, right? And F-18's like, Roger, on it, because they know what it means. And they just go full mock everything, and then they just shoot it. Right?
That's incredible.
Anyway, yeah.
That's incredible. Well, Mike was on the ship that put a breezeway in the Indian tanker, and
Jeez.
Making friends
that's a
around the
good
making
world.
one.
friends,
Yep, that's a
making
good
friends
one.
around the world. So
That is a good one.
oh my God. Well, it's been fun. It's been good. It's not. We could sit here for hours, and as we've done, with Mike for hours and hours and hours. I met Mike the night that my daughter was conceived, not together, but the night that
I'm not the father.
met him that night in Reno. It was a special night. Katie will love that. And then he came to the ranch the day that she was born. Was the first time that him and his wife came and hunted with us at the ranch, and she graduates this week.
And I would just say it's always an honor to be a part of what you guys are doing. Everything you guys do is so professional and top notch. But your family, I love you guys.
Yeah.
And it's the time is never enough. It always goes too fast. And I can't wait until the next time. Either you guys are my where, I'm yours, or we're somewhere together. I absolutely love you guys and everything about you. And it's just been so much fun to be your friends and to consider you family for over 2 decades, man. You guys are incredible.
It's awesome, man.
Feeling
Lots
is
of belly
mutual.
laughs. Yeah,
Feeling
lots of
is
belly
mutual.
laughs, no doubt.
I'll be honest, I like Ange way more than I like you.
Yeah, well, shocker.
Way cuter.
I've never heard that.
She's way cuter.
Doesn't everybody?
For what it's worth, me too.
Doesn't everybody? Well, we'll get into more stories next time we get together and hunt. I'm sure that we'll have you back on and do the podcast, and I know we're going to have that happen sooner than later. So
I mean, I'm just going to say a drop's always available. There's no Argos, but
I've been telling him.
drop's always
So many
available,
Argos.
my
he needs,
friend.
he needs
I need
a
a grizzly
grizz
bear. That's
for the
almost
North
done.
American. He needs a grizz for the 29.
All the times on sheep hunts, I passed them up just because I didn't have a ram yet. Well, ironically, that's one, right?
Yeah.
And I'd like to do it with you guys if somebody, I don't want to name any names, puts together a guide or whatever the rule is.
We need that master
that's
guide.
the
That's
guide's
the
been-
hardest part about
yeah.
that.
That's the
I
hardest
would
part.
go on that just to go and hang out and be a part of it. I think that's an incredible thing you guys are doing, and it's such great adventure, and you guys have it so wired, and there's so much game. I can't
it's
wait for
fun.
the footage.
Oh, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
Well,
it'll
we'll
be good.
figure. We gotta maybe have to figure that out.
Yeah.
See what we can put together.
Yeah. We know
side
where there's
story.
a couple
I'll be
of big
honest.
ones.
I need a grizzly too.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him. I'm like, we
Yeah.
can figure
I
this
need a
out.
grizzly, too.
I need
One
a
guy,
grizz.
3 grizzlies.
Yeah, one guy, 3 grizzlies. That could be a good setup. If you're out there and you're a master guide and you know what we're talking about, hit us
let's
up
go.
because we need 3 grizz.
Yep.
So let's do it. Let's
All
make it
the
happen.
Bapple you can drink.
Jesus.
That was close.
As soon as I mention Alaska, God is trying to
there you
take me
go.
out.
Yeah,
Once
he's like,
again.
He's
Here he
Coming
comes.
for you and
Either that or your Navy cohorts are over there somewhere.
Hang on, check and see if there's a hole in the building.
Jeez.
call sign Mikey.
Oh, that's
Mikey the Tomahawk just happened. If you didn't hear
Tomahawk.
that, which you'd have to be
I
not.
wish you had a call sign.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I don't
That
know.
was a close one.
That was close, but the thunder
Real
just
close.
went off everybody, and it scared the daylights out of everybody in this studio. Everybody jumped, so that was
Remain
incredible.
calm.
Let's finalize this episode before we lose power.
That was it. That was the time. That's the saying. That's it. We're done.
Done.
So,
It's a
all right.
wrap.
Thanks.
Great
Walter
chatting,
Mines.
Mikey.
Good chat,
Thanks,
buddy.
guys.
Love you, man.
Appreciate it. Love you.
Mama say it's some new day song.